Hello
Okay.
everyone, this is Aisha Makara and the artist voice. Today I have Shawn Salame. He is a global traveler. He was like around the world, everywhere. He is a couch surfing expert. His life is art. He's super creative and he does creative stuff everywhere where he goes. So Shawn, hello, how are you today?
Hi, Aisha. Hi, I'm doing well.
Nice to have you here. I'm very happy that you said yes. Finally!
Yeah.
Yay! You're so busy, super busy. I love your outfit. You look so cool
Oh,
today.
thank you.
How was that? By the way, you also like to go to the Burning Man. Burning Man is super like creative thing. So like this is maybe why you like to dress so cool.
Definitely. I like to be expressive, just which is one of the principles of Burning Man. So,
Expressive. I like it. So, Shawn, share with us a little bit about you, your background, what you like to do, and why you do what you do.
well, sure. Thanks for having me here on your show. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, um, and I grew up in a very kind of diverse international household. My mom was Dutch Indo. She was born in Indonesia, but grew up in Holland and then came to San Francisco. And then my father was fourth generation San Francisco Bay Area local. So I grew up in a bit of a international background and was encouraged to pursue international education and to foster my insight in desire of geography and travel at a young age. And I would say that type of environment from my family and growing up in a diverse area such as San Francisco inspired me to study cultural anthropology in college, which then took me on a deeper path to understanding human beings in the world. I grew up in Silicon Valley, so I saw how the world changed in the 90s, and it became a lot more global. And I knew we were going to go that way. The internet was never going to go away. So for me to understand humans better seemed to be a beneficial skill to have. And I think that's proven true today, especially with COVID and everything. We need to learn how to work together. But
Definitely.
but some of my early trips I volunteered a lot in my early years, and I worked probably the first 10 years of my career in nonprofits. I continued to travel around the world, mostly for social purposes, but sometimes for pleasure also. And that took me to 70 countries around the world. And I still have a strong desire to travel and to basically, you know, make the world a better place however I can, whether it's in the day to day or on bigger projects. So
That's super cool. I actually wanted to share with you one idea I have, and I was thinking about that, and actually, like to travel around the world and actually create art and make like each city in the world like a colorful, like artists just traveling all together and like maybe staying in different places. And what we do, we just like going and create the things around like in the city, so we make city colorful, like kind of like each of us can bring that our own like a blueprint somehow or fingerprint the way we create, and we can make like the whole world like super crazy colorful with our art. And I was thinking maybe couch surfing, we can somehow like collaborate with a couch surfing, that we can make it as for this project alive, like maybe couch surfing somehow like can support artists by just traveling, because we can stay in couch surfing, and we can actually like um, create it by doing it. But it's like a process, because I was starting to think about that, like in some cities it's not legal to do that, and but like started with one city, and after that like going a lot of step by step.
yeah, I think the two communities that I'm most passionate about in the past have been the couch surfing community, which is a global network of travelers that open up their homes to other travelers. But more recently, I've kind of distanced myself from couch surfing because they went for
Yeah.
they put in a subscription based model recently. So I'm participating in another network similar to couch surfing called Trust Roots, and I'm currently like the lead community developer there, and I'm helping facilitate a whole new network similar to couch surfing at Trust Roots. And Trust Roots has a feature, you talk about artists, Aisha, that they have a feature where you can filter search all the artists on the global map on Trust Roots.
Oh,
So
that
if you
would be
want,
super cool. Let's do that. I love it. I mean,
yeah, so if you wanted to find any artists in Ukraine or in Eastern Europe or in India or wherever you're traveling to, you can use that feature. And I do agree with you that there's parts of the world that art wasn't so much promoted, and there's not so much public art. There's no money for public art, but the Burning Man project has helped facilitate with regional communities how they can best do that. There's a lot of practices that groups of people came together who just wanted to bring art to their city, and whether you're coming from this or Europe, there's lessons to be learned, and sometimes it's hard to do it in the beginning, but you might have to self-fund your projects in the beginning, but once people start to appreciate your work, then, and you have a good relationship with the local government and you start to water those relationships, you can then start to make build your art movement in your home city. So
this is what I'm thinking. It would be like interesting project actually to start to develop where I am right now, and like maybe grow it slowly, step by step. Like I even like thinking like the art soul can be amazing, like a name for that, art soul, or like art souls.
Yeah,
like the
definitely.
artist voice, so it can be like the art soul, or like the art soul, because like we have right now project with my other friends who is also artist. We call it like art soul walk. So we want to create like art exhibitions around all America right now, like in the different cities, but we don't know how it's going to be, and like we're still in a very like beginning, like just growing this idea or like developing this idea. And I believe I have this idea, like why not to create this beautiful art, and like actually like we have so many artists who like mirror artists, like how's a mirror artist who like create on the walls. And I was thinking, why not to connect all these artists together and actually create a project and name it this project, and maybe get like some donation or like something that we can start to make it happen, like in the real world. I think it's possible. Anything is possible when you have like, how to say, passion for that.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, sometimes it just takes one person to start it and to be consistent with it, and yeah, or bring everybody in the same room, and maybe start a Facebook event or just, bring some people
Yeah,
together.
that would be interesting. The Facebook event would be very cool as well. Facebook would be good for that. I'm just thinking, maybe I can also start to ask artists, like for example, how they can contribute to this project if they would like to be part of this project and the interviews. But like I would like to partially develop this idea and see how, like, be more clear on that. And after I will ask the questions, if some people wants to be part of that, that would be cool. So we can create a group or like a team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easier to do that things together, like like a art tribe, global art tribe.
Yeah. A collective of sorts.
Yeah. Because some artists successful, some are just artists just starting, and maybe we can somehow contribute and help each other by supporting the community in different ways. I'm all about community. I have some ideas how to improve community or make it community more beautiful and colorful.
Yeah.
That we can celebrate life instead to celebrate life, then thinking about, oh, how I can survive, because I believe right now we get to celebrate it while we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
Burning Man is a very good example for that.
Yeah, Burning Man's a good example. There's a collective Meow Wolf that's a good example as well. They ended up getting one major donor to donate certain amount, millions of dollars to, but they paid all their artists pretty good wages, and their model worked to create the immersive environment they did in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now they've opened up another one in Denver, another one in Vegas, and now another one is opening up, I believe, in Phoenix. Um, so definitely, I would recommend looking at the model or the documentary on Meow Wolf also, as far as how you can bring artists together and empower artists. I don't think it takes a lot to start to get the public's interest. You might need to get a few artists together who are willing to volunteer their time and efforts, but the benefit might be that you create an experience that people will be happy to pay for, and people will get supported at the end. And of course, with Burning Man regional groups, they all start their own nonprofit. Typically, sometimes they start an LLC also. But if you start your own arts nonprofit group, you could get more benefits and grants from the local city easier. You could facilitate art events easier that way and protect yourself. So um, there's definitely lessons to be learned. And at least in the Burning Man community, you could jump onto any Burning Man regional group, whether you're in Miami or Chicago or New York or wherever, and you could just ask the question, how do I do this? How do I get how do I get a group of people together, or how can I? And there's a lot of best practices out there that people have made documents about, and be happy to share. So
I will ask. Thank you.
yeah.
Shawn, what inspires you to be you? What inspires you to create? What it is in you that you feel that you have your passion, you have your mission. What inspires you to be so creative?
Um, well, I'd say that my creativity mostly centers around writing for the most part. And I've been writing for most of my life. I wrote professionally for a few years. Now I'm writing again, and I find that writing and stories can inspire people, can change people's hearts, can expand people's horizons and perspectives. And so, if there's something that I have to give for my own life, it's the perspective that I've gained through traveling across the world to some of the most poorest places, to some of the most richest places, to living in both of those places, to seeing the wide range of how we could experience the human life. And it's something I think is important is that if you grew up um, in an environment where you did not travel much, where you did not see people who don't look the same as you, don't talk the same as you, don't have different beliefs and values than you do, you might be inclined to be more defensive um, and protective of yourself because you don't understand that person. It's kind of a natural human, characteristic that we kind of have to break and kind of like, move forward. I'm hoping through my writing and my photos and that I can help people uh, learn to be a bit more, I guess, holistic and have more of a global perspective and more of a understanding and appreciation for people who are different than them, um, and not to jump to judgments or conclusions about, oh, you must be from Asia, so you're like this, or you must be from Europe, so you're like this, and you must be from Russia, you're from Russia, you're like this, and try to put away the judgments, the preconceived notions we have of people. So I'm hoping,
Like general understanding, let's say. So
yeah, to expand your horizon. My my cultural anthropology teacher who passed away, his name was Craig Rush. He used to say that you have to shatter your box and then you slowly pick up the pieces. You know, we're all socially conditioned. Like we all have values we grow up with. We all have our cultures that we grow up with. We all have certain ways our family raised us. And it's up to us, I think, in our life to challenge those structures and to take the risk and to step out of your comfort zone and to shatter that box and continue to shatter that box and like, you know, continue to learn more about yourself and be accepting to other people and their ways of life. I find that if you do that, that you're really just opening up the door to so much more fun, rewarding experiences if if you have that perspective. You know, if you're open to tasting anything, you're open to doing something that might feel a little weird to you. I think it just helps you grow as a person. And so that's, if there's anything I'm trying to teach people, it's probably that, you know. So
What impact do you want to create in your life? Or like what impact do you want to create with your creativity part, or like what you're creating right now with Trust Roots and what other projects? What do you want to achieve with that?
I want to see like I just want to see people understand each other more. I want to see it to the global cultural norm to be that we meet each other as human beings like with a blank slate. Okay, now you could now as I get to know you, maybe you're a great person, maybe you're not, maybe you're not, so you're going through a tough time and you're angry and you're upset and you don't really want to entertain a friendship or you're listening to me or whatever. So that's fine. But I think that instead of just, you know, like even with today's political climate in the States, you know, oh, you're a liberal, you're a
Yeah,
Republican,
exactly.
you're, and we automatically think just because you're that, you know, you must be A, B, C, and everything else that that person on the radio or on TV told you this person is. And I don't think we should subscribe to that. I think that we should just meet each person where they're at and and judge them then, like if they're a good person and have good character. And I would like to see that happen with people from different countries. Also, I'd like to see that happen with um, you know, everyone to be more culturally competent, and that's my goal. That's the impact I want to have through working on a website like Trust Roots and also volunteering a lot of my time as an ambassador on couchsurfing, is because those websites provided a very easy way for people from completely different backgrounds to come together in a safe way and then totally learn about each other's life. It's like, you know, okay, like it's like, say for instance, I'm a Christian and you're a Muslim, and I had all these ideas about what it meant to be a Muslim, and you had all these ideas of what it meant to be a Christian. And we sat together and we had a drink and we talked about my life and your life, and we found out actually, you know, both both of these lifestyles have a big gray area, and you know, I don't pray 5 times a day, or I don't do this, or I don't know. And we just kind of learn about each other, you know, and maybe in the process we actually question why are we even doing the things or believing the things we do. And you know, so I would hope that more the whole world becomes, instead of going against each other, I would hope that we we're more open to, you know, accepting that we have a lot more similarities across our humanity, you know, and that we could meet each other there. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm trying to get a job, I'm trying to work and earn, and I'm trying to provide for my family. I want the best opportunities for my children. I want to, you know, these are values that could be universal. And if we could meet each other there, then
Yeah.
maybe, you know, we can survive better and make better decisions for all of us. So
Collaboration,
mhm.
community, yeah, acceptance and equality of like of each other, that we all equal. We have a journey and we have a path. So we get to respect each other where we are at. I agree with you. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
What who um, how you see yourself in the community next 5 years? Do you have the idea of yourself, where you want to go, or like you want to share it, or?
In a community?
Yes, in a global community, local community, doesn't matter. It's like right now we're living in a global community. Like, how do you see yourself? Do you have the idea of yourself, like the direction you want to walk, or like you're walking towards? You said you're developing the roots training or trust roots. So how far you want to go with that project? I mean, it's just one example, but I'm talking about just like how you look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's funny. I think, sometimes in life you do one project and then it ends up opening a door to another place and it ends up opening a door to another place. And so it's kind of like, you can't always predict where you're going to be ending up, necessarily. But I think that, I want to create space for people to connect and, cross pollinate, so to say, um, get inspired from each other. Trust roots, yes. I'm going to build up a international ambassador network and a international network that will provide that space for people to connect on the same way couchsurfing did. Couchsurfing has like millions of members, but the management is just trying to monetize the community in in as many ways as it can, and so it's kind of lost a bit of the spirit. It was always meant to be a free site, and I mean, Trust Roots is free. It's always nonprofit. It's at 50,000 members right now, which I think is a good place to start to build up the community, especially after COVID goes away. More traveling can happen, and people want to meet up. They want to have a group they could be accepted in. They want to you know, be in an international group. So you could take all the lessons from the Couchsurfing ambassador community, apply it to Trust Roots, and I'll do that. But I also want to create spaces for artists to express themselves. I'm living in Dallas right now, and I'm probably going to buy a building out here that will be a space where artists can come and also perform, and there could also be places for people in the flow arts to perform, and there can be immersive experiences there, and those experiences that are created by all the artists can then be an inspiration to the greater city itself, and kind of open the eyes of people who've never seen certain types of art be expressed, whether it's a very immersive set design or projection mapping, or using what technology we have to create magical type of environments, and allow people to step out of their day-to-day life. So, but yeah.
That's beautiful. It's very beautiful. I'm going to be part of the Trust Roots. I'm part already of the coach surfing. This is how we meet, actually.
Yeah.
And the last, do you have any advice to the people who just started their career and who doesn't know where to start and what to do with their life? And do you have like advice for them if they're like scary or whatever? Like,
Yeah, I probably have two parts of advice for that. The first part would be I got actually from another guy who did some more intense travel experiences than I had. I mean, he had walked in the Himalayas for a couple years. He wrote a book about it called Into the Heart of the Himalayas. He had been a doctor, medical volunteer at Doctors Without Borders in war zones, like in Sierra Leone and in Nepal, and actually was even held at gunpoint for 12 hours. by a rebel group, and managed to keep calm and talk his group out of that situation. So pretty heavy situations, a lot of experiences he had. Also, I think so he told me that as long as you work hard and you're kind, like you probably will get where you need to go. You'll be able to succeed and survive in this world. And I think that that's good advice. Is if you are just have a hard work ethic, a good work ethic, and you want to work hard, and then you're kind. I think those are two good qualities that will just serve you anywhere you go in the world. But then also, I would just say on top of that, the other advice I'd give is that you just have to ask. It's very simple, but like, some people are so afraid to ask. But it's like, okay, for me, it's like if I was in a different country and I wanted to get work, I just have to ask. I say, hey, I'm looking for work, and this is what I do, and see what comes up, and I think you'll be surprised at what people are willing to do for you if you just have the courage to ask,
Yeah,
as simple as it is. So,
I
just,
agree.
ask, and of course, be thankful if people do help you and give you out stuff. But, you know, of course, if you're kind and you ask, that's probably going to go well for you too. So,
Thank you for sharing your wisdom, Shawn. I enjoyed very much, and enjoy a beautiful day. And this, bye.
okay. Thanks, Aisha.
Bye.
Bye bye.